Hi guys, wee Bob here, and I haven't done a vlog for a week or so. I'm hopefully going to get this video done before my wife returns so I can be a wee bit more confident in speaking. I've stole my boy's green screen that's behind me. Sun's glaring in, which doesn't help the green screen. I'm not planning on doing anything, it was just to cover up the background until I can get somewhere to sit properly. A gaming place. Falling bag, coming to attack me. So anyway, this is a couple of VR responses. I'm hoping to get 2 videos out tonight, we'll see. I need to edit them, so that might take some time. So the first one is a VR response to Down the Rabbit Hole. Kev, I think his name is, and he's from Canada. I'll put a link to his channel down below, and which is something I'm quite bad at doing. It's now a bit easier now I've got my computer back. I can actually do descriptions and replies quite easy, or easier, and so hopefully I can link that below. So anyway, the question that Kev was asking was, when did you start feeling too old for gaming? And he had talked about an experience where a game became ultra hard, and he was like, am I too old for this now? Have I lost my touch? I can used to play the games no problem at all. So mine's has got, I wouldn't say serious side to it. It was just something that struck a chord. I've got one for the 10 arcade cabs to do as well, which I didn't think I could come up with 10 arcades, because arcades didn't really exist so much where I live. But I managed to go through, I was going through some pictures just to see, and then I was like, oh, I remember playing that, oh, I remember playing that, I remember playing that. And when I started writing the list, I was like, I'm going to run out of cabs to put down here. So anyway, Kev's question was, when did you feel too old for gaming? And I've wrote a script, sort of, loads of notes here, and that's the arcade cabs. Hopefully you can't read that, otherwise I've just gave the game away. So basically, in my late teens, 19, 20, I was living with my mum and dad at the time, and I got my first PC, and that PC was for university, so it was probably kind of late 90s when I started university, and I finished 2003. So yeah, my mum and dad, I got a student loan, went up and got a PC, and that was when I started getting into PC gaming. I didn't have a girlfriend at the time or anything like that. I just had my own room. The internet had just kind of started not very long. I ended up getting my own phone line put in, so I could play online with my friends with it, totally hogging the internet. And the internet used to cost me 2 pence per minute. I'm pretty sure that's how much it cost, and it was with FreeServe at the time. So yeah, I used to, it was my 2 mates at uni, they talked about this game called Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, and I was like, oh cool, that sounds good, I'll get that. And I bought it, and basically we used to go on every night, and we'd get the team chat up, and we'd be, how you doing, Richard, and how you doing, and we would start playing a game of Rainbow Six, where you're going through the what did you call it, the museum. You've got to set up your movements and different things like that. I've noticed I'm always fixing my collars and stuff like that. So yeah, basically it led me to playing Call of Duty in a game called Viet Cong. So I was playing the Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six for a few years, and then I moved on to playing Rogue Spear with my friends online, and then uni was coming to an end. I had a child, my first child by then, and my wife was pregnant with her second child. And then while she was in hospital, I was a naughty person, and I went and bought myself a new PC, because my PC that I had bought for university was starting to really lag at that point. So that moved me on to playing a game called Viet Cong, Now, I don't know whether anybody's heard of that game. It's not something that I've ever heard of anybody playing. And it was a kind of jungle game. I loved Viet Cong. Viet Cong was basically Vietnam War. I remember I got it on demo disc or something, and you're going through the trees, and at the time I can remember, this is amazing looking. The graphics in this are just outstanding. You can see your M16. You're kind of pushing the leaves out the road as you go through, looking for the Viet Cong appearing, and it was scary. It was just dense foliage, and you couldn't see the enemy. There was no HUD that I can remember. I don't remember seeing any kind of indicators to show you where the enemy was, and you were just, where's the foxhole? When's a blast of fire going to start coming at me? And it was just an intense game. I experienced that. I'm not sure everybody would have experienced that. Looking back, the graphics are a wee bit dated now. So yeah, that moved me into playing Viet Cong. Had a decent single player. I did play it on co-op with one of the guys that I eventually played along with, and it was a really great game. Anyway, the second child was born, and I graduated from university. I had to find a job. I had bought this PC. I couldn't find a job for months and months and months, applying for job after job after job, hoping to get something in electronics, because that's what I'd mainly trained in programming. And eventually I got a job as a programmer down south, doing proper hardware programming. So it was like real binary chips, heavy coding in C, heavy coding to do with electronics. It wasn't game programming, and it wasn't associated with game programming. It was more product manufacture. So yeah, I got a job down there. Me, my wife, the kids moved down to Ipswich at the time, and we rented out a place. And I'm just trying to remind myself where I'm going here. Yeah, we moved down. We got a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. We rented it, and I was still into my gaming. But this was at the point where I was having 2 kids, and I'm like, what's happening in my life? I'm losing my freedom. I'm losing my ability to be a kid myself. And yeah, I was losing. I could feel it slipping away, and I know that sounds terrible. It's not meant to sound terrible, and this is, I think, it's something that you go through as a kid. You come into adulthood, and I was quite young. I got married when I was quite young, and I had my children when I was young, so I was only 23 when I first had a child, and then 24. We had like 2 kids almost back to back. So yeah, I was quite young, quite naive about things and stuff like that. So anyway, this video is actually lasting longer than I thought it would. I thought I'm going to fly through this and that'll be me. So I moved down, and I was playing Viet Cong at the time. I'm just having a quick look here. So I love Viet Cong that much, I started joining a clan. That's what it was. I started joining online gaming. This was my stint with online gaming. I'm very much now just a single player gamer. I don't mind online, but that's where I'm too old for it, because everybody's so much better than I am. But Viet Cong, I got in a clan. The clan was called Theatre of Mayhem, and I loved it. It's brilliant, and we were on a clan-based league. And the league was quite competitive, and you had to be, we had games like most nights, and you had to be there at 7:30 normally was it when the game started. And if you were in the team, you had to be there. So me having kids, a wife, and then having to spend my time doing gaming, I was really into it seriously. And at one point they were making a Scotland team, and I was up kind of in the mix as maybe being in part of the team for Scotland, and really thinking about having this as a potential career, that I could maybe become a tournament gamer, which would be a dream. So yeah, I was playing this game online and 7 o'clock, and having to kind of argue with my wife to say, look, I'm going on to play and I need to talk, and she would get annoyed because I was talking on team chat and things like that. And my wife went away. This was a wee while in now. My wife went away up to Scotland to see her family because we were being away down, and she wasn't really enjoying where we were staying at the time. So she came back up to Scotland, and I had a weekend with me and my daughter, and she took my son up to Scotland with her. And it was during that weekend that Viet Cong Purple Haze came out, which was number 2. And I ran down, took my daughter on a pram down into Ipswich town, which was quite a distance, and I couldn't drive at the time. Went down, picked up the game, ran back up the road, shoved in the discs, and there was quite a number of discs. And I'm on there getting everything set up, setting up all the settings and things like that to make sure it was going to work, because I wasn't sure my computer was going to be beefy enough to handle it. And my daughter was sitting on the floor next to me playing with some toys. So I'm up putting this up, and guys are like, "Got a game tonight, get on and get a game." So I'm in the game, and my daughter starts crying, and I'm like, game here? And I was getting annoyed, and I was getting irritated, and I was getting angry. And I was like, "Rachel, go away," and things like that. And then I was going down trying to soothe her and giving her a bottle. And I know it sounds terrible, but as a young man, I struggled with my priorities. I still struggle with my priorities. That's just the nature. But my daughter's sitting there, she's crying. I'm trying to get her, and I'm trying to play the game, and I'm excited about the game. I've been building up to this game, and I want to play it. And I'm like, "Oh, what?" Like, you're just. And then at that point, I just sat back and went, "What are you doing, Robert?" And I know that's kind of serious, and it's maybe taking Kev's, but that is how I then felt too old for gaming. I realised life has a different thing to it. It's got different meanings to it. And I sat back and went, what are you doing? You've got a child here who's crying. You're trying to game and you're getting angry. And why are you getting angry? Because you're trying to game. And at that point, I took a step back from gaming. I stopped gaming as much. Now, my wife may have a different take on that, but it certainly sticks in my mind as a moment of realisation where I'm like, no, you've got other priorities to deal with. And it's only recently that I've been able to, as my children have got older and more independent, that I've had more time, so I've been able to start the YouTube channel, able to get my art done, able to get back into gaming and into retro gaming. And it's a nice, because there is a period there between like nearly 10 something years. I was still playing, still had my PlayStation 2, I still had my PlayStation 3 and then PlayStation 4, but gaming certainly did really get stuck to Grand Theft Auto when that was coming out and the bigger games, and I would game when I can. And it's still the same, I still game when I can. Even making these YouTube channel videos, it's still I struggle to actually just get the time to do them and edit them and spend time with my family. And it has caused friction in our house, because I'm spending maybe hours editing a video instead of spending time doing stuff with my family. But it's something I enjoy. So there's a balance, it's trying to get the balance right. So anyway, that was the kind of more serious side. I'm just looking to make sure I've not missed anything out. But Viet Cong was a great game. I will try and find some gameplay. I don't really like taking other people's gameplays or anything like that, but I'm not making any money off this, so excuse me. Numb foot. Anyway, it was that Call of Duty 2 came out at that point. I started with the clan. I was actually doing Viet Cong and then Call of Duty, the original Call of Duty, and then Call of Duty 2 came out, and my computer just wasn't going to handle it anyway. So that was the kind of end of my PC gaming for years and years and years, until more recently when I had some money to buy a new gaming PC, and I've bought a few things on Steam. So yeah, it had to become a hobby more than I gamed as a kid. As a kid, my life was gaming. As a kid, it was either playing football or gaming. In my summer, during the summer, me and my friends used to get the goals out, and if it was a rainy day, we would go play games. That was just my whole childhood, was Mega Drive, Master System, playing football, Mega Drive, Master System, then PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 is when I was married, so again, there was, and the good thing with PlayStation 2 is there's loads of kids games, so I was able to get my kids into gaming at a young age. You know, these things you have to do. So, up to date, the moment I started feeling old in gaming was a game called Geometry Dash. And the game is a simple game on Android where you literally tap the screen to jump little objects, and the graphics on it are great. Very simple, but they're very Tron, flashy lights and cool music, and you've got to tap to jump over the obstacles or hold down the button to fly your little ship when you get the little ship to go along. And it's just crazy, crazy fast. And it's like you go bang, you're dead, bang. It's like one of the old games when you had to be pixel perfect. To this one, you've got to be tap perfect. Excuse me, spitting everywhere. And I'm just absolutely pants at it. I'm rubbish at it. And my boy just puts me to shame. He is like a wizard. It's like Gandalf. He's like waving his tappy wand at this game. He just, I'm just watching in amazement as he's flying through these levels. He's got the levels and he's flying through them. Sorry, somebody just come in, I'm guessing it's my wife. So he's flying through the levels, and it's amazing to watch. But I tried it and I've never been in such a position where I want to throw my phone against the wall, because it is frustrating. Very, very frustrating. It looks like I've got little horns, look. Ooh. Anyway, the devil face. This is the devil. Sorry. Random. Anyway, so I'll try and move out the road of the horns. Yeah, that is my VR response to Down the Rabbit Hole. I really enjoy your channel, mate, and I love the chess. You're the first person I've seen does chess, and I like the whiskey stuff. The Blade Runner whiskey stuff is brilliant. So I realise you've been on the air longer than me. The air, who knows? Anyway, that's me. I'm done. I'll put a link to your channel, and hope you enjoyed the response. Cheers. Bye.